Hi, I'm Zsolt. Welcome to Visual PKM. Let me start with a provocative question. Why do you write? Writing helps you think, that's true, but is reading an efficient way to understand? Over the past half year, I've been advocating for taking notes on the back of Excalibur drawings. In my Obsidian Vault, notes are mainly visual with occasional text on the back. My approach has always been to start with a drawing and then add notes if needed. Lately, I've received more requests to prioritize text over visuals in Excalibur, like opening drawings in Markdown view by default or displaying Markdown in hover previews. Clearly, we are all different. Some of us are more text-oriented than others. For me, the front is always the drawing, and on the back are my notes. But because of this, some of you might find my next statement controversial. I believe writing as a tool for thought is overrated. In the personal knowledge management community, writing is often seen as the primary tool for thinking. But I disagree. Don't get me wrong, writing helps clarify and articulate ideas. But ask yourself, why do you write? Just to get your thoughts out, or rather to organize them, to share with others, to revisit and build on your ideas? It's great you've written down your thoughts, fantastic. But then what? Someone will need to read it, maybe the future you. And reading is a very inefficient way to absorb information. I was recently at a workshop reviewing project and system documentation. Despite being for engineering purposes, I found a lot of text, but very few well-organized diagrams. Why is that? I think it traces back to our education system, which lacks in-depth instruction in visual thinking. People haven't learned to think visually, so they fall back on writing even when it's not the best tool for the job. It's like only having butter knives in your kitchen. They're useful, but not ideal for slicing meat. Imagine trying to carry a bunch of items across a room. Cups, plates, forks, bottles, and more. You quickly reach the limit of what you can manage without dropping something. You'd be better off using a tray. This is similar to reading a complex text and juggling multiple concepts in your mind. Our short-term memory can handle only about 7 to 9 concepts at once. Visual representations like mind maps or concept maps act like a tray, helping you hold more ideas, organize and manage information efficiently. Think about the difference between looking at a shop window and reading a shop receipt. The shop window gives you an instant understanding of what's inside, while the receipt requires you to process each item line by line. Guess, where are we going? Let's talk about maps versus lists of directions. A map, like visual notes, gives you a comprehensive view that helps you navigate and understand the terrain instantly. You can see all the landmarks and routes at a glance. In contrast, a list of directions forces you to process each step one by one, which can be mentally taxing and prone to errors. Which one was easier to grasp, the list or the map? Visual notes function like maps, offering an overview that helps organize your thoughts and see connections between ideas instantly. Now let's look at technical documentation. Recently at work, we debated whether to model requirements visually using tools like UML or list them in an Excel table. The answer is clear. Excel tables force you to juggle dependencies and connections in your mind. A diagram provides an immediate clear picture of these relationships, reducing cognitive load and freeing your mind for analysis. Legal documents are another prime example. They're tough to read because they are text heavy. Imagine if legal documents were modeled visually with diagrams, process flows, and concept maps, with text only to elaborate details. Wouldn't that make them more accessible? Think about an IKEA instruction manual. Fully visual and straightforward, making even complex furniture assembly easy to grasp. Using the wrong tool to document and convey ideas has created an industry of lawyers and other expensive legal experts. Another interesting point is how watching an interview with an author changes your reading experience. Understanding the author's personality and key ideas gives you a new perspective. When you read the text afterward, it's not just words on a page, you have a mental image of the author, enriching your understanding. This is another form of visual thinking, imagining the author to better grasp their message. But visuals don't just support understanding, they also help organize information. When creating my recent book on a page summary of Atomic Habits by James Clear, I started with visual summaries of key concepts. These visuals act like illustrated post-it notes, helping me organize my thoughts and create a coherent story. Organizing illustrations is less mentally taxing than organizing paragraphs and abstract concepts. Only after this did I translate the visual storyline into a script and written summary. So let's flip the statement. While writing is important for thinking, in my view, if you can't visualize an idea quickly, you probably don't fully understand it. Visualization forces you to distill the essence of your thoughts, revealing gaps and enhancing clarity. At work, when challenged about creating extra work with diagrams, I argue that if you know what you want, creating a diagram takes less than an hour. If you can't create the visual, you probably don't really know what you want to deliver, and it's better not to spend money on implementing half-baked ideas. But as with anything, extremes are unhelpful. I'm not against writing, I'm advocating for more visual thinking. Take Xu Bing's book From the Ground as an extreme example. It's written entirely in emojis. If you look at it long enough, you can decipher the story. While I'm not suggesting we go back to hieroglyphics, I do believe it's worth investing in tools for visual thinking and skills in modeling. So is writing really thinking? Yes, but it's not the whole picture. Writing is one way to organize thoughts, but visual thinking provides a framework that enhances understanding. If you can't visualize an idea quickly, you might not fully understand it yet. If you're interested in learning more about visual thinking with Excalidraw and Excalibrain in Obsidian, check out the Visual Thinking Workshop. Cohort 9 starts in just a week. Links are in the description. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of visual thinking. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words.